Hello, everyone. If your grocery bill feels like it belongs in a history book lately, you are definitely not alone. With food prices soaring, many of us are feeling the pinch. But what if I told you that the secrets to slashing that bill have been hiding in plain sight for nearly a century? During the Great Depression, when every penny was precious, families didn't just get by. They invented incredibly resourceful and often delicious meals from almost nothing. This ingenuity profoundly shaped frugal American cooking. In this video, I'm going to dig up 15 of these forgotten Depression-era dishes that can save you a fortune today. These aren't just recipes, they're a financial game changer for your kitchen. They were built on a philosophy of waste not, want not, using simple pantry staples like potatoes, beans, cabbage, and flour to create filling, comforting meals. And you'd be surprised, many of them can still be made for just a few dollars per serving. We'll kick things off with the heart and soul of Depression-era cooking: soups and stews. Nothing could stretch a few humble ingredients into a hot, filling meal for a whole family quite like a pot of soup. Number 1, potato soup. This was the ultimate survival meal. In its purest form, it was just potatoes, water, and maybe an onion. As the potatoes cooked down, their natural starches would thicken the water into a creamy, comforting broth that killed the hunger pangs. It wasn't fancy, but it was a warm, filling meal that could get a family through the night. Today, you can make a huge pot for just a few dollars, and it's easy to customize with a little milk, cheese, or bacon if your budget allows. Number 2, Mulligan Stew or hobo stew. This stew was the very definition of resourceful. Born from the hobo jungles of the era, the rule was simple. Everyone contributed whatever they had. A few vegetables, some scraps of meat, a handful of beans, it all went into one communal pot. Today, it's the perfect clean out the fridge meal. Before you let those carrots get wilty or that half an onion go bad, toss them in a pot. It's a delicious way to fight food waste and save cash. Number 3, vegetable soup. Similar to Mulligan stew, but often built around a garden's harvest, vegetable soup was a kitchen mainstay. Families with even a tiny garden plot could turn their produce into meals that would last for days. It was endlessly adaptable, with things like barley, beans, or potatoes tossed in to make it even heartier. It's a great reminder that sometimes the cheapest ingredients, vegetables and water, can create something truly nourishing. Number 4, egg dumplings in broth. When meat was a luxury, eggs were a reliable source of protein, especially for families who kept their own chickens. This German-inspired dish features a simple dumplings made from flour and egg, dropped into a hot broth. The dumplings puff up, creating a wonderfully hearty and comforting soup from the most basic pantry items. It's a brilliant way to turn a simple broth into a substantial meal. Next up, the main dishes that were the backbone of the Depression-era diet. These meals relied on cheap, filling starches to make sure no one left the table hungry. Number 5, poor man's meal. This skillet dinner is a classic for a reason. Typically made with fried potatoes, onions, and sliced hot dogs, it was a way to stretch a small amount of meat into a meal for the whole family. The potatoes provided the bulk, while the hot dogs offered a savory flavor that everyone loved. It's still one of the fastest, cheapest family dinners you can make today, perfect for a busy weeknight. Number 6, beans and cornbread. This might be one of the most iconic frugal meals in American history. Beans were cheap, full of protein, and could be bought in bulk. Paired with a skillet of homemade cornbread, it was a nutritionally balanced and incredibly filling meal. A large pot of beans could feed a family for days, and the cost per serving is still shockingly low today, often under 50 cents if you start with dry beans. Number 7, cabbage and noodles, haluski. Cabbage was a Depression-era superstar. It was dirt cheap, could be stored for weeks, and one head could go a long way. Sliced and fried with onions and egg noodles, it creates a dish called haluski, a simple, buttery, and surprisingly sweet skillet meal. It's a perfect example of how the humblest ingredients can be transformed into pure comfort food. Number 8, macaroni and tomatoes. Long before the blue box became a pantry staple, there was macaroni and tomatoes. Pasta was an inexpensive filler, and canned or stewed tomatoes provided a zesty, flavorful sauce. It was a simple one-pot meal that could be on the table in minutes, and it's still a go-to pantry meal for a reason. It's cheap, easy, and totally satisfying. You just can't talk about frugal cooking without talking about fried potatoes. Sliced and cooked in a skillet with onions until crispy and golden, this dish could be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's simple, hearty, and unbelievably cheap. For a bit more protein, families would often crack a couple of eggs right on top, creating a complete and satisfying meal. Number 10, soup with bread. This wasn't so much a specific recipe as it was a universal practice. Stale bread was never wasted. It was torn and dropped into any soup or stew to add bulk. Or it was served as milk toast, where pieces of toast were soaked in warm, sweetened milk. It was an easy-to-digest meal often given to kids or folks who were under the weather, but it also became a common supper for any family with bread and milk. Now let's look at how families started their day and stretched their meals with cheap homemade breads and grains. Number 11, cornmeal mush. In many parts of America, cornmeal mush was a breakfast staple. Made by simply stirring cornmeal into boiling water until it became a thick porridge, it was incredibly cheap and filling. It could be served hot with a little milk or molasses. Any leftovers were poured into a pan, chilled, and then fried the next morning for a crispy, delicious treat known as fried mush. Absolutely nothing went to waste. Number 12, beans and rice. A classic combination all over the world, beans and rice offered a powerhouse of nutrition on a dime. Both ingredients were cheap, shelf-stable, and could be bought in bulk. Eaten together, they provide all the essential amino acids, making them a smart and sustainable meal. It remains one of the ultimate budget meals for anyone looking to save on groceries. Number 13, scrapple. Born from the saying, use everything but the oink, scrapple is a true testament to the waste not philosophy. It was traditionally made by simmering pork scraps and trimmings, then mixing the rich broth with cornmeal and spices. The mixture was chilled in a loaf pan, sliced and fried. The result is a crispy, savory breakfast meat that stretched a small amount of pork into many, many servings. Number 14, potato pancakes. Got leftover mashed potatoes? Never throw them out. During the Depression, they were mixed with a little flour and an egg, then fried into crispy potato pancakes. It was a genius way to repurpose leftovers into a brand new, delicious meal. Sometimes they were even stuffed with a tiny bit of ground beef to stretch the meat even further. Number 15, cornbread and milk. On the most frugal of days, this was a meal in itself, especially for children. A piece of leftover cornbread crumbled into a glass of cold milk was simple, filling, and required zero cooking. It could be eaten for breakfast or as a light supper, showcasing the extreme simplicity that was sometimes necessary. The resourcefulness of the Great Depression kitchen is nothing short of inspiring. As I've shown you, these 15 meals prove that you don't need a big budget to eat well. They remind us to be creative, to waste nothing, and to find comfort in simple, hearty food. While our economic challenges today may be different, the lessons from the past are as relevant as ever. By embracing some of this old-fashioned wisdom, you can take control of your grocery bill, reduce food waste, and discover some surprisingly delicious meals along the way. So next time you're at the grocery store, maybe you'll see that bag of potatoes or that head of cabbage in a whole new light. Thanks for watching. If you found these food tips helpful, please subscribe and share. Let me know in the comments which of these forgotten meals you're going to try first.